All I can say is shame, 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 shame. I don't know if you guys know it or not, but Cologne did a live stream last night. He interviewed Charlie Rock. And that live stream was probably, I think, a little over an hour or so. And when he uploaded the video, he only uploaded 19 minutes of it. Now, you might wonder, why would he only upload 19 minutes of it? The reason is that a lot of the video didn't go well for him. The agenda that he had set out did not come through for him. He was hoping to have Charlie Rock go along with his narrative that Puerto Ricans had just as much to do with the creation of hip hop than that of Black Americans. I don't know why he thought Charlie Rock would agree with him in that belief, but clearly that's what he was hoping. Now, Charlie Rock comes across as a very, very, well-spoken person, good-hearted, natured person. He's all about unity. And I think because of his personality, Cologne felt that he would, in fact, agree with Cologne. What makes Charlie Rock a good person to talk to is that he was there pretty much from the beginning. So if anybody knows the culture, it's him. So if he says things that you may not agree with him, you have to at least acknowledge that he was there and he knows what he's talking about. Now, there's a lot going on in this world today, and this hip hop discussion is pretty much mirrors what's going on in the larger society. There are powers, to be who are trying to rewrite the history of Black America. You have what's going on in Florida, trying to make it appear that slavery was a good thing. So the reason why I call Cologne a colonizer is because that's what he's trying to do with hip hop. He's trying to rewrite the history of hip hop to include himself in a way that's not true. He wants to feel good about being Puerto Rican. But he feels in order to do that, he has to diminish our culture first. He calls me the racist. He calls me the divisive. He calls me a cult leader. I'm neither one. I'm not a cult leader. I'm not racist. I'm not divisive. If divisive means defending my culture, then I'll be divisive. But I'm not going to go along to get along. And that's the problem with so many of our Black brothers and sisters. They're going along to get along. And where has that gotten us? Absolutely nowhere. So if I have to stand 10 toes down on what I believe in defense of my culture, I will do that. And you may call me whatever you want. It won't shake me in my belief. Cologne has gone as far as to go on Facebook, badmouth me, calling me a cult leader and things of that nature. Trying to get people to turn against me. Why? Because I'm defending my culture. So that's why I call him a colonizer. Now, when I was listening to the live stream, Charlie Rock says something that I've been saying from the beginning, which is hip hop comes from Black culture. And when he said that, I said, game over. Cologne, you might as well pack it in. Because who else are you going to talk to that has more prestige than Charlie Rock? If Charlie Rock is saying it's Black culture, you might as well pack it in. See, Charlie knows Black culture the way I know Black culture. Black people know Black culture. So we have no problem recognizing where it comes from. When you look at the vernacular, fashion, MCing, rapping, breaking, when you look at all of that, you can trace those elements decades earlier. Puerto Ricans can't do that. Jamaicans can't do that. Foundational Black Americans are the only group of people that can do that. So it's not difficult for me to stand 10 toes down in defense of my culture because I know Black culture. Now, Cologne brings up the fact that, well, you know what, not everybody like hip hop. Black people didn't like hip hop. They didn't like it as much as other groups didn't like it. To suggest that somehow it's not Black culture. Like Black people supposed to like everything about their culture. There's a lot about Black culture today I don't like. Does that mean I'm against Black people? Black people at that time was against hip hop, not because of a racial thing like the other groups, like some Hispanics, who would say that it's Jungle Bunny music and things of that nature. Black people was against it for other reasons. Some were religious reasons. Had nothing to do with race. That's the difference. It wasn't based on race why Black people didn't like hip hop. So that's an attempt that he always engages in conflating issues that are not relevant. All right, so what I'm going to do, let me see. Here's the thing, man. I kept waking up last night thinking about what was said in that live stream. And after I saw the live stream, I went to one of my videos. Cologne had commented in one of my videos, right? So I said, you know what? Let me hit him up, let him know that I watched it live, and I dared him not to exclude anything out of that original video. I challenged him to upload the whole thing. And I'm not surprised he didn't do it. So for many people, you guys aren't going to know what was actually said, what Charlie Rock actually said. You will never know, because Cologne is not man enough to admit that he got defeated last night. And Charlie Rock didn't agree with him on a lot of things. So I was up last night trying to remember, okay, what were the things talked about so I could kind of relay to you guys what was talked about. So I jotted some notes. Now, let me see. Okay. All right. Now, you guys remember what he'd been saying about Disco King Mario for months. He's been saying Disco King Mario wasn't involved in the early 70s. Cholly Rock corrected him on that. Also, he also said that Mario was around the same time as Herc. So here's another thing that he was wrong about. Let me see. When was breaking? When did breaking start? So he asked Cholly Rock, give me the timeline of the Zulu Kings. When did that happen? So Cholly Rock goes down the timeline and he basically says 75, 76. Now, if you guys remember, Cologne has been trying to suggest that TBB started before the Zulu Kings. Now, isn't it amazing? You got Cholly Rock right there, and you didn't ask Cholly Rock about TBB. Because Cologne knew that the Zulu Kings were first, and he didn't want to go out that far and get the answer that he didn't want to receive, which was probably, no, the TBB probably started 77. So he didn't ask Cholly that question. If you remember, Cholly was talking about Puerto Ricans getting involved 78, 79. Same thing with Cass at 78, 79. So you got to remember, a lot of these Puerto Ricans are trying to move themselves closer to 75 because they want to be relevant. They want to be the ones that said they started this thing. He was also asked, Cholly was also asked by Cologne, who were the first B-boys to really do it, like go to the floor. Cholly responded, the Twins and Clark Kent, people like that. At the Herc parties were going to the floor. He said that it was an evolution to what's going on today. You know who else said that? Pluto 7 said that. It's all connected. Puerto Ricans learned from us. It's a hard pill to swallow. I know it is for them. But it's the truth. You learn from us. You can't pick out anything that you can point to that we learn from you or learn from Caribbean people. You can't pick out not one thing. Everything that's laid out in hip hop was already laid out. All you had to do is just participate. Now, he tried to set up Cholly Rock with a couple of questions about where did hip hop come from? Did it come from the South or did it come from the Bronx? Now, me for one, never argue hip hop. The culture came from the South. I never argued that. I know some people might have argued that. Personally, I never argued that. I've always said elements of hip hop come from the South, like the music, like the dance, like the DJing or MCing, the rapping. That, in fact, do come from the South to some degree. The thing about it, it was cultivated in New York. It was put together in New York as a collective. That's the difference. Very much in the same way how Herc became the father of hip hop, because a question was asked from Cologne to Cholly Rock, is Herc the father of hip hop and why? So Cholly Rock says, well, you know, the things that Herc did, there were elements that preceded Herc, but Herc was the one who was able to put those things together. And he played for the B-boys. So that's the X factor. Cologne wants to suggest that there is no hip hop without the B-boy and the DJ. I would counter that and say there is no B-boy or DJ without the music. And the music is clearly foundational Black American music. So Cologne asked them questions about the music. Well, what songs did they play? And they ran down a list of different songs that they heard. What were the B-boy anthems and all of that? And the vast majority of the anthems were created by foundational Black Americans, not Puerto Ricans. Now, Cologne could have asked Charlie Rock about the Discaga. Isn't that foundational to B-boy culture? He didn't do it. He know that the Discaga crap is just crap. Here you had a golden opportunity to ask Charlie Rock, who was there, did the Discaga play a factor in B-boy culture? He didn't ask that question because it's propaganda. This is all what Cologne is pushing. A feel-good narrative. So there was another question. Well, did it come from Black culture? And Charlie Rock said, well, it started in Black culture. And from that moment, when Charlie Rock said it started in Black culture, Cologne was trying to reword the question. So hoping that Charlie Rock would say, oh no, it's everybody created it. But Charlie Rock never went there. He said, again, it's rooted in Black culture, and other people participated and hung along. He didn't call them guests, but he said they were welcome to hang out with the brothers. So Cologne goes into trying to say, well, I'm Puerto Rican and I have Black ancestry, and you got the Caribbeans and the Black Americans. We're all part of this African thing. So isn't that the Black community? The brother was reaching. He knew he was dead in the water. When Charlie said it was Black culture, he might as well pack his bag and go home. I've been saying that from day one. I've told Cologne time and time again, and you guys listen to my channel, I don't care what culture, what ethnicity, what race you are in terms of your involvement in hip hop. My main argument has always been it comes from Black culture. We are the progenitors of this culture. Without Black Americans, there is no hip hop. I don't have to know everything that went on in the Bronx to be able to make that argument, because I know Black culture. So Cologne tried on numerous occasions to try to get Charlie Rock to not agree that it's Black culture. But he failed. This is the reason why he didn't upload the video, the total video, talking about sound quality. I had no problem hearing the live stream. Something told me to check it out. Normally I don't listen to him because I know what he's about. But something said, Truth, check it out. Only regret I have is that I didn't tape the audio. And I know better because I know Cologne. I know what he does. If he doesn't like something, he won't allow you to see it, because he has to, continue to promote his propaganda. Just like when Batch said that Puerto Ricans had nothing to do with the creation of hip hop. He should have packed his bags up right then. But he don't care about the truth. The truth is foreign to Cologne. He'd rather live in his alternative reality that somehow Puerto Ricans are responsible for the creation of hip hop. Or alternative reality. Now, I don't know, like I said, I wish I had taped it. I'm sure there's things that were said that were left out that I'm not including right now. But if there's anybody in the comments who remember what was said, who actually listened to it, hit me up in the comments, refresh my memory, and I'm going to do a follow-up video on It's a Black Thing. I will include it in that because we're going to get this history right. What I discovered, because my message has been tailored to just to talk about Black culture, because I'm not from the Bronx. I can't talk about all the dates and all of that and who was there at this jam. I can't talk about that. But I could talk about the culture. I could talk about the root, the origins of the culture. And isn't it interesting that a person who was there, like a Cholly Rock, that I'm in agreement with him in terms of where it comes from. So this whole BS narrative, oh, you wasn't there, that means nothing because I know Black culture. So, Cologne, you need to pack it up. Game is over, but I know you, Cologne. You all keep pushing this false narrative. And as long as you do that, I'll be right here with you, brother. Being that thorn in your side. You know, he complains the fact that he says, well, you wouldn't have no content if it wasn't for me. And Randy and Adrena Casa, you wouldn't have anything to talk about. Brother, listen, I was doing videos 6-7 years ago. And if you look at them, I don't have all of them up. But I was getting thousands of views, brother. But I had other things going on in my life. I had to put that to sleep, put that to rest. So I'm more than capable of creating my own content. Don't give yourself that much credit, brother. I didn't get into this thing because of you. I got into this thing because of Fat Joe made that stupid comment about 50-50. And because I know Black culture, I said, let me give my 2 cents. Let me put my 2 cents in this thing. And going through YouTube, investigating this nonsensical claim by Fat Joe, I came across you and your nonsensical logic. You gotten worse over the months because when I first started listening to you, you at least said Black people created hip hop. You at least said that. You just said that Puerto Ricans helped build it, but you said Black people created breaking and hip hop. Now that's all changed. Now it's 33, 33, 33. African Americans, Puerto Ricans, and other Caribbeans. I don't know where you're getting your information from, Cologne. It's false. So as long as you continue to make these false accusations and claims, I will be right there, brother. That constant pain in your side. You can rest assured of that. Peace.